Okay, let's talk about rational functions. And some of you may remember me talking about rational expressions. And what's a rational expression? Well, it's just a big fraction. Okay, it's a fraction that's going to have a polynomial in the numerator or denominator. And it could include something like 2 over 3, but most likely it's going to include like something like x over x squared minus 9. So when we have rational functions, it's really going to be a function that has rational expressions in it, okay, big fractions. And when we go to graph this, they have these 7 steps over here. And most of these you've already seen. We have determine the symmetry, which is even or odd. Okay, even is going to reflect about the y-axis, like this. Odd is going to reflect about the origin, like that. Then we know the y-intercepts. Okay, how do you find a y-intercept? Hey class, how do you find a y-intercept? You plug in 0 for x. Hey class, how do you find an x-intercept? You plug in 0 for y. And here's the 2 new things today: vertical asymptotes and horizontal asymptotes. Okay, and we're going to see what those are in a minute. Part 6 is going to be to plot points. All right, so we want to plot some points in between the x-intercepts and close to the asymptotes. And then, of course, the 7th step is to graph it. So let's look at this example right here. Okay, and I'm going to graph it for you so you can see what I'm talking about with these 1 through 7. All right, and here is a very rough sketch of what the graph of this function is going to look like. And what you can't see here, but it's there, is an imaginary line right here. And there's another one right here. I've got to watch saying that word imaginary. And these are the asymptotes. And what's happening is that this graph right here is getting closer and closer and closer to this dashed line. And it's always going to get closer, but it's never going to touch. Can you keep always getting closer but never touching? Of course. You can get a 1/2 inch, and then a 1/4 of an inch, and then an 1/8 of an inch, and a 1/16th, and a 32nd. You could keep going. And we see the same thing that's happening down here. Closer and closer to the asymptote, but never touching. Same thing up here. Closer and closer, but never touching. And, of course, the same thing down here. Okay, so these lines are called asymptotes. These are my vertical asymptotes because they go up and down in the vertical direction. The horizontal asymptote is actually going to be right here on the x-axis. Okay, at y equals 0. So let me just tell you what these asymptotes are, and then we'll take a look a little bit deeper into how to finding them. The asymptote here is going to be x equals 3, x equals -3, okay, vertical lines. And then this asymptote down here is going to be y equals 0.